Hey y'all, I'm Alex from Soil Mates to Georgia, and today we are doing part 3 of our 3-part series on our introduction to our new YouTube channel. We're in my garden today, so I'm going to jump into it and just kind of show you what I have growing right now and what I have planned for coming up. So in here, I'm doing a little bit of an experiment this year of how much I can fit in a closed space. I've got 2 big tomato plants and 1 little pepper plant. Pepper plant's already behind, but I have it on the front where the sun comes over this way, so it should get decent sun even when this fills out, but it's also crowding up a lot more than I thought it was going to be, so we're going to see how that goes. Also, just threw in a potato plant by itself. I have all these tagged up with just a plastic tape that's on here. It gives plenty of room, if you can see that, how it moves in there, so they have plenty of room to grow, and I just have it in a bow on the back, so I can tie and untie it if I need to move it or make it a bigger loop for it to climb through. And some of these I can already see, just a weekend of rain and mixed with sun. There's some suckers I'm gonna have to take out of here soon. I'm letting that grow because it's right at the top. I don't like to take the sucker off from the top one. I always like to have a bloom above that if I can. 2 more tomato plants, and if you can see in here, I used some old soil that I had used to plant carrots in the fall, and they didn't really come through, but I just left the pot sitting there. Use the same soil in here, and now it's coming up, so I'm just letting it go to see what happens. You're going to see in a lot of these pots that I have some kind of mesh in there. Oh, I almost messed up the carrot. A lot of mesh in here, and that's to prevent the squirrels. Have it under the mulch there too. I was having a lot of problem with squirrels and chipmunks coming in and digging in the soil, so that was the easiest fix I could do, just to plop it on there. This is one of my favorites. Susie actually taught me into getting this last year because I've always done just tomatoes and peppers, so we expanded it. And oh, come here. This is oh, there's 2 of them now. Have a little blueberry here and another one down here, but I'm gonna eat this one. I wonder if that's ripe. Let's see. Oh my goodness! Holy cow! I'm just gonna. You can mess up the video and just have this one. That's what the camera person gets a treat.
That's good.
So much flavor in there. Wow. Oh, that's awesome. So if all these start coming up, we got a bunch coming. Look at that. All good pack there too. A little bunch. Man, that is really good. Now I'm gonna have blueberry in my teeth. This is also blueberry, little dwarf. It didn't fare too well through the winter. Compared to that one, kept its greenery. This one looked like it was dead, but I left it going. I have 2 little babies here that are hanging on still, so we'll see if they last. Same thing with the mulch in here. And this is not what I was hoping for it to be. I had what can be a companion crop for blueberries, or basil and thyme, or 2 of the many things, but I'll put some basil and thyme seeds in here, see if I can get them to grow up and, 1, give me more basil and thyme, but also it helps the soil in there. So I put it in, and then I forgot about it and put the mulch back over in the screen, so I think I smothered them all out, but wasted a few seeds. Tomato. Oh, and these are starting to come in. That is nice looking. That's going to be a handful of them there. And I think I have 4 different varieties of tomatoes. So we'll do another video when we get closer to it. We'll talk about my self-watering containers, how I do them. I have 2 different styles that I'm using with them now. I have regular pots too, but we'll go over the varieties we have when we're going beyond just the introduction type video. More peppers. This is 2 different type peppers mixed in here, so they should come up pretty good. And I still have stuff to pot in these. Broken pot. I use this broken pot for scraps sometimes. So I'll take one when it breaks, if it's a ceramic pot, and crumble it up and put it on the bottom of a pot instead of using rocks. I'll put them in there, and it helps drain, just to have something at the bottom. Down here is my experiment. This is my first year doing this one, so I'm excited to see what happens. I have, well, I'll start over here. This is the Comfrey. First, this bin is awesome. This was a mineral feeder from our farm, and it goes for the cows. After they're done with it, the people who sell it don't take them back, but we can use them as planters. So this is actually a self-watering planter. Keep the cap on it so mosquitoes don't get in there. And what the plan is for this, I'm new to these, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I've read that people can eat them and be okay, but they can also be toxic. So I'm not planning on using them for food. I've also heard you can put it on, take the leaves off, and use it as a compress for sore muscles. I don't know how much truth there is in that, if there's actually real research. I'm gonna use it just to put into my compost bin. So my hope is I get this big enough where I can take clippings off. It's supposed to be really good for compost, to add some greens in there. And I don't use the clippings from my grass. Same thing that Susie said in the last video. I'm on a hill here with neighbors who use pesticides and herbicides up here. I used some about a year ago. I don't use any anymore. But that is nothing I want to take into compost and put in my soil and food that I'm going to eat. Along with this one here, not just how cool it is to feel grass, which I don't know if you can tell from the video, but this was a planter I used to grow spinach last winter under the grow lights inside, and I wasn't using it for anything else. I had leftover grass seeds, so I just threw it in here. I'll take trimmings on here and throw it in my compost just to have something I know is clean. It's a tiny amount, and I know it doesn't really move the needle probably, but it's fun, and anytime I can see more grass, I'm happy. All right, now we're gonna jump up on the other side and I'll show you what I have planted on the hill. Okay, so we jumped up to my hill here. The other plants are right down here on the shelf, but I ran out of room down there for where the sun comes over, and all of this needs full sun. I can get full sun up here, but it's on a hill, so I've kind of come up with this makeshift contraption to level it out. I had some 2x4s, picked up some cheap bricks, and now I have it level enough. I didn't want it slanted where the soil was going to fall off or the moisture would all come out of the bottom. So I have two different kind of peppers in here, and I'm going to see how they go. But so far, I just put these in the ground a little over a week ago, and they're already looking really happy. Everything I have in my garden except for the blueberries, I planted from seed. So this is the first year I've done that. And the comfrey is from root, but it's still something I've grown from the beginning. I haven't even staked these yet, other than having these cages that are fairly flimsy, especially when they don't get to go too deep into a pot, but they work enough. Over here, this is my first year doing both of these, so I'm excited to do it on both of these too. I have watermelon and cucumbers, and after I was certain when I put them in which one was going to be which, I forgot. So I'll be able to tell soon. Since I'm new to both these, I don't even know. I haven't even looked up what the seeds are supposed to look like, or excuse me, what the sprouts are supposed to look like. So by the time this video airs, I probably will have Googled it and be able to say it, hopefully. But they're all coming up. I'm not going to keep this many. It's going to be too crowded. But I was curious if all of the seeds were going to sprout. And over here they did. I put two next to each other in these three places. I might end up only keeping two of them, but I might see how much I can crowd them and see if it works. It doesn't really matter. If it doesn't work, it's an experiment, which is a lot of the way I garden, just to see what I can do and get away with. If Mother Nature says they shouldn't be crowded, I'm like, what if I do? Does it work anyway? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Over here, I did the same thing where I put two and two and two, except apparently I dropped one and I have an extra one here, and these only came up with one each, so I'm glad I put extra in. And I usually do that when I plant from seed. I try to start with more than I want, and I hate thinning them because it feels like you're getting rid of something you just grew, but it's safer to waste a couple of seeds that were just a cent or 2 cents or something and plant extra. Then you have a backup plant if the first one grows. So I didn't need the backup plant over here, but I'm glad I did it over here. These are also self-watering containers. I have tape over them now because I forgot to get the right number of caps, but the tape works also until I can run up to the big box store again. And that is it for my garden. I also had carrots in the front, but I just harvested them a few weeks ago. So there might be a future video when I get back to put my carrots in the front, another spot with good sun. And I also have to build a trellis for this, so that's something I have coming up. Cucumbers, watermelon, or cucumbers, watermelon, whichever one is which. And I'm gonna put a hole over here. Like I said, I don't like planting anything I eat in the ground because of the herbicides, but somewhere in here it gets good sun still coming over from up here. I'm gonna put a hole and add in some pumpkins. They need to be trellised too, but I might be able to train them to come up the hill and still get sun. And then I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet because I'm running out of space. I might go further down over here and do another trellis for a winter squash or spaghetti squash, same thing. We can go in and eat those and they last for months. So I'm not in a rush on those. I need to get them in the ground soon, but I knew these were priority, and then others I can get. As long as I have the pumpkins ready by Halloween, I'm good. And if I can get a couple for me, a couple for Susie, then we're set. We're not eating them, so they'll be fine. If it doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. And I think that is it for today. So I'm gonna leave it with that. Appreciate y'all watching. I want y'all to like and subscribe if you can. We need the support. We're just getting this going. Thanks for making it through these 3 introduction videos, and we'll have some more exciting stuff coming up. Appreciate it.